Here's my audience. He's as wise as an owl, tough as nails, but yet as gentle as a lamb. He has the heart of a lion and the strength of an ox. He is the backbone of our family and my inspiration in everything I do. Hero. That's the word that comes to mind when I think of my Poppy. I define a hero to be a person of great courage and determination. Someone who is honest and loyal to a fault. They must have patience and focus, but perhaps most importantly, a hero is someone who possesses the utmost amount of perseverance and selflessness in any given situation. To understand a little bit more about how this special man has played such an impact in my life, I'll share with you some insight into his life, the ways in which he has inspired me, and the ways in which I will continue to honor him throughout my accomplishments in my life. I'll begin by sharing a little bit more into his upbringing. It all started in a little town called Freer, Texas. Ernest Gale Vaughn was born on October 11, 1940. He was the baby of 5 children, and there was an 18-year age gap between him and his older brother. He was born into a very Christian and musically inclined family. He moved around quite a bit as a child, depending on where his father was working at the time. But at age 16, they ended up settling in Lumberton, Texas. After he graduated from Silsbee High School, he had several odd jobs. After that, about a year later, he decided to attend college at Lamar University, where he wanted to become a geologist. But his car broke down, he had to buy a new vehicle, so he didn't have enough money to continue college. So he decided to go to work at a chemical plant. Well, he got the job, and the very next day, he went home to pack, and he got his draft notice in the mail. So he served 2 years in the Army and fought in the Vietnam War. After his return from the war, he started a family with my grandmother, and he began taking firefighting classes at A&M for his plant that he was working for, and he ended up becoming an instructor at the firefighting school at A&M. He retired 30 years later from Bayer Chemical Company as a shift superintendent. However, a short 8 months after his retirement, he had 3 brain aneurysms. I remember him sitting on the hardwood floors with a belt wrapped around his head, trying to ease the migraine he was having, but little did he know that one of the brain aneurysms had busted and his brain was bleeding. 31 days he spent in ICU, and after his surgery he spent 30 days in rehabilitation in Beaumont. But surprisingly enough, and it was a miracle, that he didn't lose any of his memory, and the only thing that happened was that he was paralyzed on the right side of his body because of his surgery. But despite all this, he still starts every single day with a smile on his face and doesn't have any bitterness towards anything, even despite being paralyzed. And the perseverance he has shown has inspired me in many aspects in my life. He has always taught me that hard work is the key to success in everything I do. So this has made me really try hard in everything that I do, whether it be sports or my grades or my relationships or anything. Even my name spell out, try, Tierney Ray Young. He's also given me a lot of knowledge in my lifetime by helping me with all of my history and science homework, and he even influences my political beliefs. And even to this day, I still call him whenever I'm not knowing what's going on in the world today, and he updates me on the news and what's happening in the world. He has always shown patience and positivity throughout all the obstacles that he's encountered in his life. He lost all mobility in the right side of his body, and that would be frustrating enough to me. The fact that he was such a hard worker and liked to work on everything, and now he doesn't have the ability to, and yet he still smiles every day, is really inspiring. He also has to raise a teenager in the changing times of the world today, and I know that's trying because he is very old-fashioned. These values that he's instilled in me continue to dominate my actions in today's life, and I hope to always carry on his legacy and through all my accomplishments as an adult. One of the biggest things that I've accomplished so far that has really made him proud was getting accepted to A&M. And the reason is because that's always been his favorite college, because he attended firefighting school here at A&M, and he really loves agriculture, and that's what this university was founded on. So that was a big accomplishment for me and for him. And it also, I'm the first person in my family to be able to continue my education at a university like that right after high school. So he's just excited to see where that takes me. Another thing that I hope to continue in my life that he's done is be responsible with all the resources that God has given me. Throughout high school, I managed to save money from working, and I've also taken care and really appreciated all the opportunities that they've given me. And for example, the vehicles that they bought me, I really try to appreciate and take care of those because I know that he worked hard for everything. Another thing that I really want to carry on in my life that he's taught me is just positivity throughout everything, because he, despite everything that came his way, he always puts a smile on his face, and he always ends the day with a smile. And he took over the role of being my father, and instead of me always harping on not being able to see my dad or anything like that, I just always say, well, I do have a father. He's my father. So in a more physical sense, the way I intend to carry out the same things he did is I want to own a lot of land and cattle like he does and continue his hobby. And I also hope to raise my children with the same morals that he has instilled in me. And in closing, I just want to say that my papi has had the biggest impact on my life so far. And he's done this through his actions and demeanor, not by what he says. He doesn't speak very often, but you can bet your bottom dollar whenever he says something, it's worth listening to. He has embodied every characteristic of a hero in my eyes, and my lifelong goal is to model my life in the same way that he did. If I can even be half as great of a person as he was, I'll die feeling accomplished, because I'll know that I lived a life full of perseverance and that I overcome every obstacle with a smile on my face and with no bitterness towards the world around me. Thank you.